Hi, boys and girls. Our next book of the day is titled There Might Be Lobsters, written by Carolyn Garimy, illustrated by Laurel Mulk. Lots of things at the beach scared Suki. Lots. There might be lobsters. Come on, Suki. You can do it, said Eleanor. She stood at the bottom of the stairs to the beach and waved to Suki. But Suki was just a small dog, and the stairs were big and sandy, and she hadn't had lunch yet, and her foot hurt a little, and she might get a shell stuck up her nose, and she might tumble down on her head, and then she'd need stitches, and besides, there might be lobsters. So Suki sat at the top of the stairs with Chunkamunka by her side. Suki, Chunkamunka. Oh, all right, said Eleanor. She picked them both up with a tisk and a huff and carried them down the stairs. Come on, Suki. You can do it, said Eleanor. She tossed a beach ball Suki's way. Go, Suki. Chunkamunka. But Suki was just a small dog, and the beach was big and beachy, and it might hit her nose, and then it would pop, and it might be too loud. But Suki was just a small dog, and the beach ball was big and beachy, and it might hit her in the nose, and then it would pop, and it might be too loud, or it might knock her down, and she might never get up again, and she might have to live on the beach forever and eat seaweed to survive, and besides, beach balls attract lobsters. So Suki sat far away from the beach ball with Chunkamunka by her side. Oh, Suki! Eleanor swooped that pup up with a tisk and huff and cradled her in her arms. Come on, Suki. You can do it. Eleanor stood at the water's edge and splashed a little splash at Suki. But Suki was just a small dog, and those waves were big, and they were whooshy, and they were salty, and they were too wet, and they might toss her out to the middle of the sea, and she might float all the way to Tasmania or even Florida, and she might be swallowed by a whale, and she wasn't wearing a bathing suit, and besides, there might be lobsters. So Suki sat at the edge of the water with Chunkamunka by her side. Oh, Suki, said Eleanor. She shook her head and dove into the waves. Looks refreshing. Look at Suki. Got a little look of where's she going? A little curiosity there. What do you think's going to happen next? These are great books to make some predictions in. So you could say, I think, or I predict, I think this is going to happen next. So kind of tell yourself, what do you think's going to happen next? Let's see. Suki sat and watched beach balls bouncing and big boys running and umbrellas flapping and lifeguards blowing loud whistles and waves splish splashing with Chunkamunka. Sweet Chunkamunka. Floating out to sea. Suki. Wait a sec. Yeah. Kind of goes from here. Just hanging out with Chunkamunka. But they are a little close, aren't they? And we know if we sat on the beach, we know these waves come in, right? And here comes a wave. Floating out to sea. Suki barked for Chunkamunka. Barked for Chunkamunka to come back. Chunkamunka started to sink. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Look at Suki. Look at Chunkamunka. What do you think might happen? What do you think is going to happen next? Let's see. Suki started to paddle. She paddled past a beachy ball and through a huge salty wave and over something that might even be a lobster. Oh, Suki. Until She had Chunkamunka. He was safe. Suki had saved him. He's a good swimmer. She is a good swimmer. She felt braver than the bravest dog because even though she was very small, Chunkamunka was smaller. Oh, Suki, I knew you could do it, said Eleanor. She picked them both up with a yay and a hooray and swung them very gently through the air. Suki sat in the sandy sand with the wavy waves and watched for lobsters with Chunkamunka by her side. Oops, stuff went flying. That's a bummer. Oh, look at the bird taking his hat, took his burger. Jeez, that guy's having a little bad luck. Oh, look at that. Those are so cool. What do you make in the sand? I have never made something cool like that. And they didn't see one all day, worried about all those lobsters. And they never even saw one all day. And boys and girls, that was There Might Be Lobsters. And their sweet Suki.